In the last episode, we arrived to Newport to start the project of replacing our alternator. After delays with the delivery, we could finally start, but Marcus soon found a new issue that left us stuck without an engine.
But unfortunately I found a totally corroded and rusted bolt. This was definitely not what I was hoping for.
Now it's time to see if we can fix the issue and continue the installation so that we can keep sailing north and make this season's weather window for Greenland.
Yeah, it doesn't go that good with the impact screwdriver. The bolt is really stuck. I even broke the bits on the impact screwdriver because the bolt is just stuck. And after changing to a new one and hammering again to hope that it will come loose, the bolt was damaged. So now I have to cut it flat so I can pin punch it and drill a hole, and hopefully I can drill the old bolt out and then make a new thread in the heat exchanger so we can go on with this today. I managed to drill out the stock bolt in the heat exchanger, and now I'm making some new threads for a new bolt with thread tap. So far so good. Cross your fingers. Although the heat exchanger is in aluminium and you shouldn't use stainless steel bolts, I will use stainless steel bolts this time, because it took 3 years for a M8 bolt to corrode entirely in this environment, and that was a hard job getting out. So instead we're using stainless steel bolts in this salty compartment. And since we are mixing stainless steel with aluminium, which you shouldn't do because it will corrode like crazy, the stainless steel bolt will be as new, but the aluminium heat exchanger will start corroding super much, and that's not so good because it's really expensive. But we use a thing called Tef gel to coat the bolts and the threads in the heat exchanger, and that will prevent corrosion. And yeah, in a year or so I will check the bolt so everything is smooth and nice and works fine, so we don't have some excessive corrosion around there. And I hope this will work a lot better and that we not will have this issue once again. Oh, it's stuff everywhere. The flange on the heat exchanger is mounted again, and hopefully it will be watertight. And now I'm dismantling the dry wheels for the belt so I can change them to the new ones.
That came off easy.
That came off really easy. That was nice though.
We had talked about changing the alternator already before we left Sweden. The old one was very small and only gave us about 30 amp hours, which means it would take roughly 15 hours to charge up our battery bank from empty to full. But as we didn't have enough experience to know what our battery consumption would look like, and how our solar panels would perform in the tropics, we decided to prioritize putting our time and money on the other projects. But as half of our solar panels are now broken, and as we are heading for colder and more foggy areas, we figured now was the time to do the upgrade. With the new alternator, we will be able to charge our batteries full in about 4 hours instead, which is a huge difference.
I was somewhat happy for a while. The pulleys on the engine are super aligned and fits perfectly. But then I came to the alternator. I mounted the alternator, but it's not aligning at all. The new belt has to like align exactly with the other pulleys on the engine, so the belt that drives the alternator and all the pulleys will not like flip and flap and just wear down and cause a lot of trouble. And I have bought the kit from Balmar for this specific engine. All the numbers and everything are right. I have even checked with their tech support, and this is the kit, and I have gotten all the parts, but the alternator doesn't align with the other parts. So I called the tech support, and what is this? Can you like help me in some way? No, I usually say that this won't fit the engine. You have to have a mechanical shop and like remake some of the parts and like machine some parts by your own, or make a machine shop do it. Why sell a kit that doesn't fit and it doesn't say anywhere? No resellers has told me this or anything, so I'm really pissed actually. Now we are in some trouble. We cannot start the engine. We are on anchoring, and yeah, we want to leave this place fairly soon. Now we have bought an alternator for like many money, and it doesn't fit, and they don't want to help us at all. It's just on our own. I just told them, can you just like send me this and this, or like, and then I will send this stuff back via the reseller. No, we cannot do that. You have to send everything back, and then we have to take it in conclusion and check all the parts, and then we maybe can send you some new stuff. Really?
Well, it's actually been 2 days since we last had a camera up. As you can see, the alternator is no longer here. We have been trying to figure out how we're going to solve this problem. Balmar doesn't think it's their issue, even though they knew that this was a problem with this kit for this engine. In my opinion, it's like really bad customer support to know that you have a problem and not telling your customers about it, but that's my opinion. But yeah, we have managed to figure something out. We drove around with the car yesterday that we have borrowed from Brad and Kara. Super grateful that we have that possibility here. So for being like places that you can be stuck in, this is a really good one. But we are having one part that will hopefully solve this problem. It's being it's being like specially made in a machine shop right now, and then we have another part that's being sent here, and together those two should hopefully fix this problem. We keep our fingers crossed. We hope it all gets done today, and maybe we can pick them up tomorrow. But yeah, Marcus is full on the electrical side of this while we wait for these parts. So he's trying to connect all the little electrical cables so that when the parts get here, we are one step ahead on that side of the project. We thought we deserved a little break from the boat work.
Really well deserved.
So we have been driving around a bit today, looking at the surroundings, and now we are at one of the big mansions here in Newport.
The Breakers.
The Breakers. There's a lot of really old buildings here that they have done a job to preserve and to keep, and this is one of the biggest. So we hope that we can get in. There's a lot of cars here, so it's probably a lot of people because it's a Saturday and the weather is a little so-so. But yeah, shouldn't be a problem with too many people, right?
I think there was like 600 rooms or something, so
people can spread out.
Yeah, I think people can spread out.
Well, let's see.
The Breakers, which is the name of the mansion, was built from 1893 to 1895 by Cornelius Vanderbilt and his wife Alice as a summer getaway. It was designed to be everything a millionaire could have wished for, in Italian Renaissance style with a classical Roman influence. As you enter, you step into the very enormous Great Hall, which has a 50-foot high ceiling. The architect was one of the leading architects of the Gilded Age, and as you walk from room to room, it is clear that nothing was saved on when designing and building the mansion. Marcus was a bit wrong though. There were only 70 rooms in the house, including 48 bedrooms for family, guests and staff. Today it is owned by the Preservation Society. They have taken on the project of preservation and conservation of the historic houses and their collections in the Newport County. It was a great visit, and one we had been recommended to make. It really is like stepping into another lifetime. It was a good break from all the work, but once the new parts were done and delivered, it was time to get back to the boat to finish the installation, keeping our fingers crossed that the modifications would work.
This is so exciting. I've been working with the engine for more or less a week now, and finally it's time to start the engine, to check how everything works. I think I have done all the measurements. I have really double checked everything and everything seems to be working great. I have also checked all the settings for the alternator programming unit that controls the regulator, and now I have the app on, the Victron app, so I can see how the current flows into the batteries and so on, and I have checked the tension on the belts, and should be just to turn the ignition key and start the engine now. I'm so nervous and excited. The engine is off again, and as I can see, everything works as promised, so I'm really happy for that. But now it's time to tidy up around the engine and fix all the cables and connect them more tidy, because I have just like connected everything for testing, so it looks like a bit like a mess actually. And I'm also going to, with cable ties, clean up around the alternator, and so all the cables are in a good place. So that's what I'm up for now. So I'm finish up the box with the regulator, and yeah, I made a place where I can mount all the relays, and yeah, drilled some holes for some cable connecting holes, and now I will try and mount everything in this box as tidy as possible, and maybe drill some air ventilation holes. According to Balmar's manual, it must be like airflow around the regulator, I have read that some people mount them in a box and they don't get warm or hot. So I try to mount it in a box to just protect it from, yeah, whatever that could like leak or something in the engine area. So and I will check if it gets hot or how it works. If it gets hot or something, I will drill some like ventilation holes in the box. But until then, I leave it in the box and mount it just behind the engine. I managed to get everything into the box and I'm really happy about the result. The box was much better than I expected. It has really thick walls, you can like drill small holes and mount some screws to fasten everything in the box without doing some extra fix. So it's a great box actually. It's a bit heavy, never mind. It turned out really good, so I don't think I need to redo this when we come home. So we just mount the box behind the engine now, and then we're good to clean up Linnea.
It's going to be so great when we get to clean up in here. It's been a bit of a lot of things everywhere project, like most boat projects, but this is one of the worst I think we've done while living on board. But yeah, it's kind of okay. We have a little obstacle course going back and forth to the forepeak, and it's a big of a jump getting out, but yeah, for a week, a couple of days, it works okay, but still very nice now that we're soon can clean up here.
Finally everything is in place, and seems like everything works as it should. Really happy for that. And the boat is tidy, finally clean and nice again, and we can soon be out of Newport.
Bye Newport! Bye!
Well, we are sailing out of Newport today, which means that this will be a perfect time to end this episode. We took an hour of motoring out from the bay here early this morning, and it seems like the alternator is working really great. We're super happy for that. This will be such a life-changing feature to have on board now that we're sailing towards colder climates. And yeah, our journey will continue. It feels a bit strange to have been stuck here for almost 2 weeks, but it was a good place to be stuck at. So we will continue in the coming week. I hope that we can sail to Canada, and I think that will be the next video. So make sure to subscribe and follow our channel so you won't miss that episode. And until next week, fair winds, see you again, bye!